We are live. Wonderful. So thanks to everyone for being here. I'm Caroline Balinska from e-commerce Backstage Pass, and I have the beautiful Alex Jimenez with me. So welcome, Alex. And Alex is actually from Travel Fashion Girl. It's a blog, and you also do a lot on Instagram as well, don't you?
Yes, everything.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So I wanted to get you on here just so that everyone's got a bit of a background. You and I met a month ago now. We were on a entrepreneur nomad cruise across the Atlantic Ocean. We left from Colombia and arrived in Portugal. It was 12 days across the ocean, only one stop on day 3, and then it was 9 days solid across the ocean, which was a lot of fun. And you and I got to know each other quite well on that cruise, and have a lot in common. And I love that you know this space really well around e-commerce, and you work with a lot of e-commerce businesses yourself, so you've had the experience, and that's why I wanted to get you on the call today, because you've got the experience from the side of being the influencer and knowing what people are doing wrong, what they're doing right, how they can actually better their business, because it is, I think at the moment, it's a really great space to be in, is being an e-commerce business and getting influencers to actually promote you is a really fantastic way to get exposure for your actual products.
Definitely. It's a massive opportunity right now. Having a business and having a global audience, even having a national audience, wherever your audience is located, it's easier than it's ever been to actually run a business. And it's a great opportunity. It's a great time to do that. And if you do it strategically, and if you know where to find people, you'd have an easier time at succeeding versus 10 years ago right now. Just online the way it is.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because, and you probably heard my story when I was presenting on the cruise, that I had my shoe label back 10 years ago. And 10 years ago, when I was getting my free publicity by going, sending packages into all the magazines, you really don't know what's coming through because there's no click through from the magazine and things like that. But doing something online with a blogger, you just look at your Google Analytics and you can say, hey, this is working or this is not working, and you can really get a good idea about it. It's completely different from 10 years ago. So I'm really excited about this space.
It is, and I know there's still a little bit of inconsistencies with how you measure it. But I mean, so many of my clients, I was just talking to one of my clients 2 days ago, and she said, I was sleeping one night and all of a sudden I thought I was getting spammed because my phone was just getting ding, 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 ding. And it was just people that were signing up to my newsletter. And I didn't know why all these people were where they were coming from. And all of a sudden she just said she had all these hits. And then she realized because that weekend I published my newsletter and she had more traffic and more signups than just within 24, 48 hours than she'd ever experienced in her business.
Yeah, that's funny. She thought it was spam because she wasn't used to it.
Yeah, just your phone's going off with notifications in the middle of the night. But instead of being annoying, this time was actually a good thing for her. So she was very happy with the way that turned out.
So tell us a little bit more about your blog and what you actually do, so everyone's got a good idea about who you are and what you do.
My name's Alex, as you guys, Caroline introduced me, so thank you very much, Caroline. And I am the editor and founder for TravelFashionGirl.com. It's a niche travel blog that shows women how to pack light, travel carry-on only anywhere they go around the world. And I also, we show them exactly what they need to wear. So it's a very niche website. I started it in 2012. It's 4 years old as of next month. So I'm very excited about it. And it's been doing incredibly well since then. I couldn't be more happy with it. And I think my readers are happy as well.
And I can actually vouch for Alex. So I got off the boat with Alex, and you hear about all these people talk about what they do, and they talk about I do this and I do this, and Alex does talk about traveling lightly. And we got off the cruise and we had to pick up our suitcases from this little area because we all had to put our bags up the night before. And I was waiting, and I'm like, come on, let's see how many bags Alex actually gets. Nothing. She actually just had her carry-on. And I was like, wow, I had to go lug my big suitcase. It was a hot day. And I was like, oh my God, I wish I was doing what Alex is doing. So yeah, I can actually vouch that you actually do walk the walk. So you actually do exactly what you talk about that you do. So
you have to live and breathe it. And it's genuine. And that's the thing about bloggers this is, well, hopefully all bloggers, whatever they are, whatever they're talking about is actually real. But that's why, because I do it, because I don't just, sit in my room in my house in Los Angeles and take pictures of clothes and like, this would be a great thing that you could wear. But I've never been there and I haven't experienced it. But I've been on the road since 2008. I quit my corporate job in 2008, and I've been a long-term traveler. I'm fully nomadic, and I've been so basically for the past 6 years nonstop. But I've been traveling for 8 years, so I do know what I'm talking about. And my readers do see that, and they can tell, people online, they can tell when someone's being genuine versus just being salesy. And that's the thing, like you said, I actually do travel that way. And I think that's part of the reason why my blog's been successful, and part of the reason why bloggers are received very well by their readers.
Yeah, because it's not a sales pitch as such. It's more talking about how to do whatever that topic is.
Yeah, and it's genuine. You're a real person. You're a regular person. And when you have the experience, and you're not just, a writer in a random travel magazine that's just giving you, that's just text. You're a person with experiences, and they're associating with you and what you've done. And because they look at you, because they say, oh, you're the expert, whatever you say, I believe you, because they trust in what you, and your story, and you as a person and what you share with them. And that's part of the reason why I think you have an opportunity to be successful as a blogger, and why I've personally been successful with my blog so far, is that genuine experience, and people really appreciate that.
So on that note, I want to know a little bit more about the size of your community. But when you say that, I think that you and I actually haven't had this discussion. So I'm going to ask you this now live, and you can answer it. So really, I wanted to ask you, how many hours did you put into building up your community? Let us know how many people there are, how many hours, and did you put a lot of money into building up that community as you've grown? Like, have you just paid for ads? Like when I talk about, Coca-Cola doesn't ad to get people over to there. Is that how you've actually built up your community?
It's so funny, but I wish I could say that I paid for my audience, because that would be the easy route. No, I launched it on August 13th of 2012. And I'd been researching all the content a year before that. Before I launched, I started promoting my content on Caroline, I saw that you're out.
Oh, is it cut out?
Yeah. Well, I can hear you, but your video's cut out.
Oh, okay.
Should I carry on?
Yes, keep going. I can hear you fine.
And a month prior to launching the website, I had spent approximately 20 to 24 hours a day, every single day for a month, promoting my site, preparing the site, getting everything ready. And I continued after I launched for the next 2 months not to sleep and to put in that much effort. It was literally, if I had any sleep at all, I would wake up, work on the site, do it nonstop. At that point in 2012, Twitter was popular, and Pinterest and Instagram weren't really a thing. So I grew the majority of my initial audience on Twitter, and I would spend 6 hours a day on Twitter. And as towards the end of the year, then Pinterest became a bigger social media community. So I switched my efforts over to Pinterest. And because I spent so many hours on social media, and my audience grew very quickly, and I had 35,000 monthly readers, monthly visitors within 6 months. Wow. So very quickly on, I was overwhelmed with work and trying to keep up with my audience and what they needed. So I did hire a social media assistant pretty early on in my blog, and now I do have one full time.
And so how many people have you got in your community now? What's the numbers looking like? Like how many page views or per month? What's the sort of numbers?
So right now right now it's my peak summer months. I have over 400,000 monthly visitors and over a million monthly page views.
Fantastic.
And it's basically grown steadily every year. So every year I've increased by about 100,000 monthly readers every month. And you asked me if I'd invested any money or if it was all organic. It was actually a combination of two things: SEO, because I actually do know SEO quite well. So I optimize all my blog posts. And I think that makes me a bit unique because I did that since the day I launched my site. And two, social media was my strength because I built such a loyal following in the beginning that loyal following kind of helped me then grow my audience as well. So those were the two strongest points. But right now that I'm taking my business to the next level, I'm actually now, for the first time in 4 years, I'll be investing in marketing and ads and Facebook ads so I can take a large audience and now grow it even more. So take it to the next level.
So that's really interesting. I wanted to bring that up because I was assuming that was going to be your answer. And that's, I think, what people who are looking to get influencers and bloggers to promote them, what they need to understand is why it's such a good place to be, rather than, I'm not stopping Facebook ads. I'm not saying don't do any of that. But the difference is that you and most influencers and bloggers are in that situation where they have built it out of a passion and they're very passionate about it. And it hasn't been just getting Facebook ads, because as a business owner, whatever your business is, if you're just going out and saying, I'll pay for leads and I'll pay Facebook for leads, and you say, okay, I'll put $500 a month in or $1,000, whatever it is, what your mentality becomes is, oh, there's always more where that came from. There's always more. Whereas when you're doing it the way you're doing it, the amount of effort, why your community is so strong and why people listen to you is because it's your passion, and you've made a really big deal of keeping those people really close to you, giving them what they want. So you're not willing to burn them easily. So they know that whatever you're going to promote to them, it's going to be something straight from the heart. It's not something that you're just going to sell them because you think, oh, stuff it, like I've got all these people and I'm just going to, push something to them. You're going to be more careful about what you promote. So when you're more careful about what you promote, the people getting those messages from you are more willing to buy into it because they respect you and they know that you're not there just to push something to them.
Definitely. And that's actually, as a blogger, one of the things that I very recently felt very conflicted with, because people send you products, and I have a very unique view. I have a very unique view when it comes to product reviews. But for the most part, I've gotten to the point where I don't even want to do product reviews on my site anymore, because I just want to be able to write about what I want to write about. And it has to be genuine. It has to make sense. And the moment that it's money versus my audience, then that's when things go wrong, and that's when you're not being genuine anymore. And I've always limited the amount of product reviews I do on my site for that very reason, because I don't want them to have any constant sales messaging in their face. So then when I do want to tell them something, and I do have a partnership that I really do believe in, then they say, oh, I know she's not just trying to sell me a bunch of crap. This is genuine. I think, like 2 days ago was Amazon Prime Day, and I have a $300 bag, a purse backpack that I travel with. And I love this purse. It's fantastic. So I went and posted on my Facebook group and said, my bag is 30% off right now for Amazon Prime Day. And people bought it instantly. So I sell so much of this bag because people know that I genuinely use it and love it. And in fact, I've had so many I did a survey earlier this year. And one of the questions I asked them, forget the question, but so many people said, I said, what else do you want to read about on Travel Fashion Girl? And they said, we're happy with what you have. Just keep giving us the same thing. We're happy to take any information you have. We're happy to buy whatever you tell us. We believe you and we trust you. And that's something that you can't replicate with an ad.
No, definitely.
You really can't. That trust factor. And because I do have a large audience, and I, without the audience, and that's another thing is I think maybe if other bloggers are like me, we really appreciate our audience. Without them, we couldn't have the lifestyle. We couldn't have the business that allows us to live the way we like. And for me, I'm a full-time traveler. So my business allows me to travel around the world full-time. And I'm very grateful for that. So I want my audience to know that they're appreciated. So I don't want to ruin their trust. Plus, I also, for that reason, I want to make sure that I'm giving them the best information and I'm possible. And I'm constantly trying to meet their needs and thinking about what they want, not just what I want to give them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a round circle, isn't it? Because if you start annoying them and they start to think that you're just there to sell them something,
yes,
then they start to drop off. And then if you don't have them, then you're not able to sell them anything anyway. So there's no point. Like, you're just burning your own business.
Exactly. So right now it was great. I wanted them to buy this bag and they bought it. There's many times when I do have a paid promotion with like the client that I mentioned to you that I spoke to a couple of days ago, then she sells out of a product within 24 hours. And I've had that experience with other people where they said, we expected by giving you one product that it would push the entire brand, but just that one product completely sold out. So next time we work with you, the product we give you, we have to have way more in stock and really focus on pushing that product. So
so that's interesting. So that's actually a really good point that you just made. So just so I can clarify what you just said to people listening. So you had someone come to you with one product, you were promoting one of their products, and they just assumed, I'll have 100 in stock or 500 in stock, and then it doesn't matter because we'll still get sales for other products. But it was because you promoted that one product and you were talking about that one product, and that's all your readers care about because that's what you spoke about. That's exactly what one of my clients comment. They said, your readers will buy whatever you tell them, but specifically that item, you have to say what you like. And it is fair though as well, because some people will buy other products in a collection. Not all products speak to me, and it works both ways. I have one of my other clients. I love their pants. They have the best pants in the world. They're $250 pants. I've sold their $250 pants to budget travelers because they're so good. They're amazing. And I love them and I sing about them all day long. They wanted me to replicate that exact same experience because I propelled their online sales, but primarily on their pants. I went to their showroom in Miami. I looked at their entire collection, and their entire collection didn't have the same strength as their pants did, but they wanted, so I published information about the other products on the website, but the readers didn't have the same response. People can always tell. Yeah. Because you didn't have that passion. So it's really about your passion towards something that really your readers are responding to.
And that's why it's so important, not just to work with the right blogger. It has to make perfect sense, but also to make sure that, not an entire collection is for one person. So that's why maybe you don't want to give, if you're working with 10 bloggers, you might not want to give them the same 10 products. You want to go with 10 bloggers that make sense to your brand in different ways. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't see they look at a blogger as it's a blogger, they have an audience, great, they're going to sell my product. And that's not necessarily how it works. The more relevant it is, the more niche it is. And even if you have, let's say, you have a regular clothing line and I'm a travel blogger, there could be 5 pieces of your collection that make so much sense for travel, whereas there might be 5 other pieces that might make so much more sense for a fashion blogger. So they're completely different, and we could sell them. It's just your angle. It's what's your marketing angle, and we have to look at us in the same way. Which blogger will do what I want with what products, basically.
So that's really interesting as well, because I know with your blog, I've had a look over it, and every single post that you write is always refers back to Traveling Light. Whatever you're talking about, you always refer back to that traveling, without much stuff with you. And so if someone came forward to you, it's really important that they came to you with that perspective in mind, not just saying, hey, I've got a product that you can promote, but rather saying, hey, I've got a product that will work well because I see that all of your blog posts relate around that particular topic.
Oh yeah, I get so many people send me, press companies send me pitches for anything and everything under the sun. And I think I mentioned to you before that someone gifted me an olive oil, a bottle of olive oil last Christmas. I got it into, somebody mailed it to my parents' home in Los Angeles. I'm not even there. I live out of a suitcase, literally, so I don't actually have a home. And that not only did that bottle of olive oil go to waste, somebody's expensive marketing dollars get wasted on, on a bottle that it's not even going to get used because I'm not there. But it's also, what does olive oil have to do with me? Unless it was an Italian tourism board creating a package,
yes,
a package box, but it wasn't. It was just promoting the olive oil company, so it was completely irrelevant. It has to make sense, 100%.
So that's probably also interesting. I've got lots of other questions, but while we're on that topic, so some people go forward and they find PR companies to help them promote their products, and they go forward to a PR company and say, hey, go and get me press, go and get me publicity. And then that sounds like it came from a publicity company, that the publicity company just went, what are the top blogs? Who's got the most amount of readers? They would have found you as being such a big influencer, but instead of looking at what your niche is, they just said, hey, she's got a lot of readers.
Yeah.
So let's just go forward to her. And that poor company has gone and spent a lot of money getting a PR company to help them. And then they're seeing that, we don't know who that company, well, you know who that company is, but we won't talk about who that is. But that Italian olive oil company has probably invested a lot of money, not just in the PR company, but also in the stock that they've had to give out. And now they're, not getting the same sort of return than if they would have just sat down and said, okay, who are the bloggers who actually talk about XYZ, food, Italy, like you said, and then they would have had a much more targeted list of people.
Exactly, and it happens more often, much more often than you think. Caroline, give me a second. My battery just died. Give me a second. Okay. Sorry about that. I thought it was going to last a lot faster. No, to be honest with you, the way that with the amount of increase that I get from press companies, the quantity that I get and how impersonal they are, I probably wouldn't personally hire a PR agency if I was going to be promoting my own product. I'd probably put together my own campaign and hire someone to do and I'd research the people that I'd want them to work with, because if you just saw my inbox, it's delete, 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 delete. Not only are things impersonal, but it's very rare that something is related to me. And and I do cover travel, but majority of things I get aren't even about travel, and especially when it comes to products. So you can't just look for bloggers with a big audience. That has absolutely nothing to do with anything. It's just you'd be throwing your money, just kind of you'd be gambling.
Yeah.
So
you're better off finding a blogger that's got less people but very niche to what you're actually promoting than trying to get someone who, So what does it take for you to promote someone's product? So let's say you're going through and you're deleting. What is it that catches your eye when you do look at these emails?
First, if someone greets me by my name, that's always helpful. Then I know that they're interested in working with me, not just with anyone. So if they've said Alex, hi Alex, and I think, okay, well, they've done some research. They're not spamming everybody. So the subject line is usually very telling. If it's very obscure and I have to figure it out and I have to open up the email, then that's probably already too much work. But it's great if the subject line doesn't try to trick you, if it's just very straight out. So that way you're not wasting their time and yours. Media inquiry, press trip, blogger needed, or clothing review opportunity, blogger needed, but not just clothing, what it is. not, I get a lot of press release, new collection for this company. What does that even mean? What does that company do? Well, I don't know them. So why would they be related to me? So I think the subject line, how relevant it is and how specific it is very helpful. Greeting me by my name is great. And not just saying, hi, I'm looking for this and this information about my company. Let me know if you'd like a sample or whatever. Everything's always so impersonal. If you do want to work with me, it would be great. Hi, Alex. I came across your blog and I thought it was a great fit for my brand. You don't have to lie and say, oh, I found this article and I really associated with those 5 top blah, blah, blah that you said. I get that a lot and I know that's not genuine. It really just makes sense if you say, I stumbled upon your blog today and I thought it made sense for my product for these reasons. Very simple. And it doesn't have to be, it just has to make sense, and it doesn't have to be a lot of flowery words or flattery or fake flattery. It just has to be real, because that's what we're doing. So you'd have to be the same as well. To the benefits. So I have this water bottle company, and this is the reason why it's great for your audience. It has it's lightweight, it's packable. I noticed that you have the color red. It would be great with your branding, whatever that is, but outline the specifics as to why it makes sense. It's almost written. Taking the press release, I think that isn't as successful anymore, right? And actually tailoring it to the people you're sending it from. I think that's when people get to when they take the time to really make it relevant and get to know my business, not just pretend they know my business. That's important.
And I say exactly the same thing when I talk to my community about getting publicity. And, a press release is good for an event or something like that that's like quite broad, but it's got to be something very unique. But when it comes to writing into newspapers, bloggers, anything like that, it is about that personal touch and not just doing a general, unless you're Apple and, Apple can do that because, we know that that's how they work. But it's really only now available for those sort of companies like Apple. We've got the new iPhone coming out. But other than that, because if a phone company came to you and said, hey, we've got this new travel phone that has 2 SIM cards in it. And if they sent that to you personally and said, hey, Alex, like we know that you talk about travel and packing light, and for someone who's traveling around the world, then this phone's going to be relevant to them, you would actually, and it's like a no-name brand, you would actually take notice. Whereas if it was something just going press release, new mobile phone available with 2 SIM cards, you'd go, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they've got to come back in and say it that, it be very specific to what your community wants.
And that's really brings up a good point, is in the email is to say, I'd love to know what you think about this product, and not just, hey, I'll give you a free $10 water bottle in exchange for a product review on your website. That's the most offensive thing in the world, I think. And I think a lot of maybe new bloggers would be excited by an offer to get a free $10 handbag or $10 anything, or it doesn't matter if it's $1,000, but it's about also if you're looking to work with a blogger and you want to maximize your opportunities, you don't want to pay. You do have to pay to work with some bloggers. You don't have to pay to work with all of them, but there's times when people reach out to you and just say, I'd like to send this to you. I'd like to send you this product just so you can test it out and let me know what you think. It's just the same way as if you'd send your product to a magazine for editorial consideration, but you wouldn't tell, Vogue magazine, oh, I'm going to send you this pair of shoes in exchange for a write-up on it. That's not the way it would work. So why should you do that? Same thing with a blogger. The cool thing is, though, that if you choose the right blogger, and this has been one of the best campaigns for companies. It was a footwear company last summer, and that's exactly how they spoke to me, and that was so refreshing. They said, I'd love to send you a pair of shoes, and I think it'd work for your audience, and let me know what you think. Just choose whatever you want. And I said, okay, great. So I chose. It made perfect sense. to my audience. It made sense to me. I chose a pair of shoes, and she never asked me for anything in return. And what she's gotten in exchange has been worth more than she could have paid me to promote her product, because I love the pair of shoes. I use them regularly now. And they've been in a million of my blog posts now. They've been in all of them. They've been in my packing list. So she's got, for $150 shoes, or in exchange for sending the right blogger, a niche blogger, a pair of $150 shoes, she's gotten free promotion. So that worked out well. Versus when someone writes to you and says, I'll give you a pair of shoes in exchange for this, and this is what I want for you to do for me in return. But I didn't ask you for the pair of shoes. If I didn't ask, then why do you think that I need them? You know, I didn't really need those shoes, so why would I want to work for you for free in order to get them? That doesn't make sense. But that's what a lot of people do.
And I think that's the really important part, is that what people need to understand is that's the difference from the old days where it was all done via letters and mail, whereas now everything's done on the internet. And the fact that you can send someone a link, a blogger a link, and say, go and have a look at my collection. I think that this would work for you, but you're free to take, any piece that you think is best. These are my suggestions, but of course, if you think something's better, please go ahead and let me know and I'll send it out to you. Rather than like back when 10 years ago, there was no internet, like internet was just starting out, and like you didn't go about things the way you do now. So I did just have to send in shoes and guess and go, oh my God, I hope that because this is for summer, these are the right shoes for summer, and send in a pair of shoes to the editors. Whereas now you can be a lot more specific and ask them to have a look. Like you said, the water bottle. Hey, we've got these water bottles, they're red, but you know what? Take a look and choose which one you want. Maybe there's something else in the collection that you like better, because it's really about letting that blogger, the blogger has to be in love with what they're promoting.
Yes. And again, don't offer free products to everyone. That's the biggest mistake. Not that's a waste of your money and your resources. And frankly, I don't need a free water bottle unless someone pitches it to me properly, so I understand, oh, this is why it makes sense. This is why it's so unique. Don't waste your resources like that. But if you invest the time in researching the right people, the people that make the most sense, and connect with them on social media, start building relationships with us, then you'll probably even get free promotion a lot of times. But it has to be the right ones that you invest your free items with. So don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying just tell all bloggers that, pick your own free thing. And not everybody needs one, and not everybody would ask. A lot of times these emails work really well for me because it informs me about a product, so I'm aware of a new brand or something that I could include in future articles. And if something is relevant, I don't like to ask for free products because I live out of a carry-on suitcase, so I don't have the luxury of putting stuff away into a closet and just accumulating stuff for the sake of it. So it's very rare that I actually request a product from anybody, but it's nice to have that option. But again, since not everybody lives out of a suitcase, you don't want to send that to everybody who might just want to accumulate a bunch of free stuff.
No, that's awesome. And and I think that reading up on that blogger, first of all, like actually looking into that blogger's story. Like, I know that you love your bag. You showed me that bag when I met you. You were as passionate about the bag when you were telling me as you've just been now, because I know you genuinely really love that bag. And so someone coming forward to you at this time and talking to you about, hey, we've got a better bag, you'd probably get quite offended and go, no, nothing's better than this bag. But they could say to you, hey, we've actually got a bag maybe for next season. If you do want to change over, here's a bag that you might be interested in, and these are the reasons why our bag is so fantastic. But not coming back, trying to take over a place that you've already got a product that you really love and you've been promoting that one and you know that one's the best one. But they could come forward and say, hey, we've got a wallet. You don't have a wallet. I haven't seen you speak about a wallet. Here's a wallet that, it will match the bag that you always talk about. And then you're getting personal with that blogger, and you understand what that blogger is actually looking for, and you're giving them, variety and different things.
Exactly. It takes work. And it's one of the things, I actually do have a blogging course, and it's what I tell the members of my course is they want fast. They want everything to happen now. And having an online business is extremely different from having a regular business. And in the sense that it's easier to get marketing, and it's easier to grow your audience and grow, to get customers. However, it doesn't change the fact that it's a business, and businesses go through, it takes time to develop and to get it growing and to get it going. And social media is a big part of that. Working with bloggers, growing your audience in social media, it takes time. It took me time, and I spent a lot of hours building my audience and building my business. And I've been doing it for 4 years, and the first 2 years were non-stop, and it wasn't instant. But you just have to put in the hard work. If you put in the hard work in the very beginning, then it'll pay off in the long run. Because for example, the pant company that I still work with them, they started working with me when I was just 3 months, when my blog was only 3 months old. And now 4 years later, we're still working together, and I'm still making them tons of money, and they're making me money as well. And we have a good relationship. And I almost feel like we're partners together, and I want to help them. They have a new product, great. I don't even charge them to promote it. You know, I give them a social media shout out. I include them. We've now built a relationship. So that's really what you want to think about, is building relationships with people, with key people. And in the beginning, maybe I didn't have a large audience, but because there's not that many blogs, at least at that point, that were doing exactly what I do, then it made sense for them to take a risk on me, and it paid off for them. So you do want to definitely spread your bets, work with bloggers that, pick 10 bloggers, choose 3 top ones that you'd be willing to pay for, and choose 5 that have smaller audiences but would be great that you could either get in their blogs for free, or it would be great for them to, that you see potential with them. So you can try to go there, because a lot of people are growing right now so quickly. You just have to pay attention.
Yeah.
Follow them for a month and see how their audience changes as well, especially if they're new.
Yeah.
There you are, you're back. Your video just came back.
Was I really gone that whole time? I'm sorry, I didn't realize. I thought that it was there. Cool. Well, you know what? I know we've taken so much of your time, and you've given amazing advice. And Alex, you're actually working with me and providing a bonus video inside my e-commerce Backstage Pass course on exactly deep diving into this topic, because when we did meet and we got into this conversation, and I was like, oh my God, you are like the perfect person to let e-commerce businesses know, because I think that it's quite a new area still. It's not the normal way of doing it, the way we remember, how things go. And it is quite a new area, getting influencers. And I think understanding the respect that you have to have for bloggers. And you and I had this conversation that, some people get it, some people don't. Some people don't get it, not because they're rude, but because they just don't understand the whole concept. So they don't understand the importance of respecting you as an influencer, and the chances, the opportunities that they have with you. Like you said, someone started working with you 3 months into your journey. 4 years later, you're still working with them, and they're making a lot of money because of the fact that they were there from the beginning. So working with bloggers, the right blogger, is really important. And you are providing one of the bonuses for the course where you're going to go into detail so people can actually understand from your perspective what that's really all about, of how people can actually work with not just you, but other bloggers as well, and what they need to do to actually get in front of the bloggers in the right way. So that's definitely going to be part of the program. So I'm really excited to have you on board for that. It's fantastic, and it's a great bonus, because I know that if you're learning about e-commerce, if you are starting an e-commerce business, whether it's Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, whatever it is, it still doesn't matter what platform you're on. Offering your products to influencers is a really, really good way to get promoted. And I don't know anyone else that's offering this sort of thing inside a program. So I'm really happy to have you on board for that.
Thank you.
I know everyone else will be so excited once we actually get into that program. So if anyone wants to know more, now that we've spoken to you, but if anyone wants to get in touch with you, and you've also got your blogging course, because I also know that as an e-commerce person, having a blog on your own website is also a great way, so they can get in touch with you about your blogging course, or just get in touch with you if they think that they've got something that they can actually promote to you. How can they get in touch with you?
My email is travelfashionGirl@gmail.com. So
And
website Travel Fashion Girl as well.
Okay, and then also your Twitter. You're on Twitter as well as Travel Fashion Girl, but it's spelt TravelFashionGirl.
Yes.
Is that also your Instagram handle as well?
On Instagram, luckily, I have the full name, Travel Fashion Girl, spelled out. So that was definitely a good thing.
Fantastic. Okay, so people can get in touch with you, but inside the actual, in my course, your bonus will be available there, where you go deep into this in a lot more detail and let people know about, the exact step-by-step method of getting in front of not just you, but any sort of influencer blogger to get their products promoted. So thank you for your time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It was fun. I'll be happy to answer any other questions that you or your team has in the future.
Fantastic. Thank you. You just have to push the cross and you can leave the blab, and it'll all just close down for you.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Alex. Bye. Bye, everyone.